everyone! Welcome back to some Unicorn Overlord. It has been a rough couple days, and a rough last 2 hours. I am starting the stream up late. Fortunately, it's Friday, so I can go late, and thus it will probably be a normal-ish length stream. Unfortunately, I'm late, so it doesn't get to be a long stream in which I potentially conclude Unicorn Overlord. I had an issue where one of my computer fans was going fucking wild, and basically like sounded like that kind of like coffee maker sound going off type of scenario. In my computer, eventually figured out that it was a fan, and it seemed like the fan was not spinning at full power and thus causing some sort of sound as that happened. So I tried to figure out how to get it to stop, and that was an arduous task. A futilely arduous task, unfortunately. And then I tried to figure out how to just remove the damn thing, but the way that the computer is set up made that also an arduous task and not one readily accomplished by one of my talents in a short amount of time, for reasons I will not go into. And it was just a huge pain in the ass. So ultimately, I don't know. I noticed while I was fiddling with it and testing it repeatedly that it didn't make the sounds when it was upside down. So now it's not an outtake, it's an intake. And I have no idea if that's gonna be a stable thing. Maybe. I'm not sure. The whole fucking thing's all but impossible to get into. I legitimately got into my case, started unplugging things, pulled the fan off, and it was even looking up videos on okay, fuck it, I'll just take the fan blade off since it seems to be making the noise. Couldn't take the fan blade off. Apparently, not like other fans, even after looking videos up online. So that was a huge pain in the ass. So anyways, it's, I don't know, potentially stabilized right now. And yeah, we'll see how that works. Hopefully it will not give us trouble. I say us trouble. It's not really an us thing. I don't think it's loud enough that it would, because it's behind my mic, right? It's back here. I don't think it would be loud enough to pick up from the cardioid pattern coming in this direction, right? But it's audible enough for me to hear in a very annoying way, even through my noise-canceling headphones. Which means I would just be driven crazy the entire fucking time. It also, the initial concern was it sounded really bad, so I was just like, well, fuck, is my computer dying on me? Is this going to cause issues on me? But as far as I'm aware, it is not, and as far as I'm aware, everything is going to... Yeah, well, right now it's fine. Again, I rigged it, turned it upside down, put it back on, and for whatever fucking reason, it still kind of hums every once in a while. But it seems to be for a significantly, it was consistent. It would just hit that tone and just be like, I'm gonna make this loud ass noise forever now. And now it will occasionally just hum, it's gonna start and then go away. So we'll see. Anyways, the plan this evening, since we do not have a multiplayer stream, since we got people away, the plan this evening was to run through the remaining rapport conversations that we have. Just spend like a solid however many hours it took. Start at 7. I tried to start at 7. I promise. I tried to start at 7, and then all this shit happened. And just go for as long as we wanted to go. Probably 4.5, 5-ish hours, right? Probably go to midnight type scenario. And see if that would get us to the end of the game. But since we have started so late, I feel that is very unlikely to be the case. So... Sorry, I had to mute some stuff. Yeah, I'm going over to mute that fucking channel. So Jay in here pinging me on Discord. So yeah, we're just gonna jump into the rapport conversations, and we'll go as far as we can go, and then we'll finish them up whenever we have time again. So probably not a very action-packed stream tonight, but we will see how it all turns out. Let's go ahead and get this boat on the... Well, yes, not exactly me. Goville and Gloucester. Let's do it. I'm in it to win it. What frigid wastes these are. In the desert, my shield grew hot enough to roast a steak, yet here I fear it's better suited as a children's sled? Again, it feels like the later we go in the game, any game, I feel like this is so representative of most games. The later you go, and I guess technically this conversation could be had anytime after getting Gloucester and Goville, but you get Goville pretty late in the game, right? So like the later you go in the game, the more likely you're gonna run into either outright grammar mistakes, or if it's not a direct grammar mistake, it's gonna be like a weird sentence, you know, that type of thing. I fear it's better suited as a children's sled. I don't like, this is one of those scenarios where I'm like, technically that might be okay, but it definitely sounds weird. As a child's sled? Hold on, you're saying you cooked food on that thing? Anyhow, you're better off throwing on some more layers if you're cold. They've got plenty of nice warm clothes over in town. I welcome the advice, but I often struggle to contend with the crudity of winter wear. Oh yeah? Got opinions on how crude my fur is, too? Apologies, that's not how I meant it. It's merely the sensation on my skin which I find disagreeable. In my homeland, it is tradition to dress in highly intricate fabrics for banquets and other noteworthy occasions. One such textile is a thick ring of fur which drapes around the wearer's neck. Though having worn it once myself, it felt more akin to a wool-bound snake than proper clothing. Indeed, the garment wriggled around my neck with such bristly ferocity I could hardly sit still all evening. Sounds pretty funny when you put it like that. Bring back any memories? Did he touch him? Sir Goville, please, keep your fur at arm's length, I beg you. Sorry, couldn't help myself. I suppose I have forgotten the cold for a moment. My thanks, brave wolf. Ooh, Gloucester and Goville? Sure, don't mention it. I ship them. Yatta! Unifi and Bertrand have level 3 conversations. Unifi and Goville. I don't get it, Goville. How is your fur always so nice and clean all the time? You do something specific to take care of it? Not really. I barely even had time to groom it with all the fighting we've been doing. With all the dying you've been doing? It's already this perfect now. Just think of how much softer it'll get once we brush it. Gonna brush it for me? Oh, sorry. Wolf like me is not supposed to get excited over that kind of stuff. So don't go thinking I'm gonna roll over and show you my belly. I'm not gonna go rubbing my face on your brush like a damn house cat either. Like a house cat. Still, I know you only offered out of the kindness of your heart. So if you seriously want to do it, I guess I wouldn't mind. At least for a bit. Wow, really? I can't wait. Just do it somewhere away from camp, yeah? I'd just about die on the spot if someone saw us. Giggity. Why are we here if this conversation is... Oh, downwards. Well, we haven't done this, so... Give me money! Think I'll ever get to sleep. Is that Goebel? Where's he going at this time of night? He does have a secret. Oh, Grandma. Maybe not. Goebel? Who's there? Oh, it's just you, Unifi. You crying? Ain't not a chance in hell. Oh, he's a sad wolf. Listen, better not tell anyone about this or else. Won't, I promise. Doing here anyway? Well, I couldn't sleep, so I stepped outside of my tent for a second, and that's when I saw you wandering off. What about you? Is there a reason you're out in the middle of nowhere by yourself? What is it? Fine, I'll tell you. My grandparents, alright? Ever since they died, I can't stop thinking about them. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. I had another dream about them, too. Kid again, living in that cozy little house they used to have. The happiest time I can ever remember. Must have really loved them. Did. I still didn't think you'd catch me crying over it. Seems like you're always finding the parts of me I never plan on sharing. You could tell me for real then, about your grandparents, I mean. Guess I don't have a choice when you put it like that. Absolutely have a choice? Just a few stories, okay? Grandpa used to run a tavern over in town, and one day... Cool. That's nice. Nothing too complex, but actually showing that they built a real relationship out on the road. That's fun. Who up here? Bertrand and Google, yes. Some scar you've got there, Bertrand. Bertrand! One on my forehead, you mean? I earned it back when Zenoira first invaded our lands. Kinda hard to imagine how, with a shield as massive as yours. He was a swordsman, an enemy soldier wielding the keenest of twin blades. He struck fast, faster than a bear like me can hope to avoid. And no matter how large or sturdy a shield you hold, it may well not exist if you can't make use of it. I didn't realize. The monster cut down our brethren without so much as a moment's hesitation. I was lucky to escape with my life. First, you could say. So much survivor's guilt. Which is in a somewhat appropriate time period right now. Apologies if I frightened you. Not it. Just surprised a guy as tough as you could get beat like that. Anyway, where is he now? I want to get a good swing at him myself. Fortunately, the man has long since passed. We ambushed him after the initial hostilities and overwhelmed him through sheer force of numbers. But as you well know, the tide of war had already turned against us. We had our revenge, yes, though could do nothing to stem Zenoira's vile onslaught. Ugh. He's already dead and gone. goes for my dream of avenging you. Enough, Goble. I won't let you throw your life away over something so trivial. I've lost far too many friends to this war. Too many people I love. That's why I'm here. Make sure I never have to lose anyone else again. That's funny because Goble dies behind you all the fucking time. You suppose Goble could lift a leg on his grave? That's an option. How's it going, Lime? How you doing? Fun. Did you just call me your friend? Oh, I guess he's not wrong. Might have had a history and all, but things are different now. Fighting in the same army, bleeding the same blood. Feels pretty good knowing I've got a friend like you watching my back. I'll try not to go running off too much. That was fun. Whoa. Right. Bertrand and Goble. Little worried someone hacked your debit card? Ugh, that's never fun. Look at us, sharing drinks like a couple of old pals. Can't say I ever expected it, though unlike you, this is water I have, not alcohol. Cheers. Never met a guy who doesn't like his liquor, but don't worry, I won't push it. By the way, Bertrand, what are you thinking you'll do once this war is all finished? First, I plan to help rebuild my village rebuild. After that, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, that sounds like you. Me, I'm gonna pick up where my grandpa left off before he died. Running a tavern in one of the local towns. I had no idea you had tradesman blood in your family. Good news is, I won't even have to fix up the building. Still standing just as tall as I remember it. A fine idea, I'll cede that. Have you ever actually run a business before? Can't imagine it's an easy task with no prior experience. It's not. My grandpa taught me everything he knew, back when the world was a bit calmer. Just got one problem. What's that? Well, it's not exactly in the best area. Place fills up quick with angry drunks, miserable beggars, and poor souls looking to swipe a mug or two. The old man had some real trouble with them too. Far cry from the picturesque little alehouse I envisioned. Don't put your tail in the fire. Hey, are you gonna try to get him to be a bouncer for you? Feel free to say no to this if you want, but what do you think about being my shield? Protecting the tavern, you mean? I'd expect you more than capable of handling such undertakings yourself. Yeah, you're definitely putting your tail in the fire. Oh, this is me you're talking about, right? I start fights, not prevent them. With a big guy like you keeping watch, nobody will even think about stealing from us. Someone will always think about stealing from us. Or causing a scene. Solves the problem way better than my sword does, if you ask me. More peacefully, too. What do you say? Wouldn't be guarding the tavern so much as the people who frequent it. Say something over there? I could use something to motivate me once the war comes to a close. Very well, Goble. I'll pay you a visit once my village is restored. Will? I mean, yeah, of course you will. Can't wait. Nice. I like how down to earth Goble and Bertrand are as far as Vestral units versus the likes of Morard and Ramona specifically, whereas Dinah's this kind of like in between. You know, because, like, Bertrand and Goble are just small fry. Ramona and Morard are, like, big, important people, and Dinah's, like, a in-the-middle kind of situation. Did we already do this? Yeah, we already did that. Oh, because we already did Drew, obviously. Elaine! Alan? See, your tail is wagging, Gobel. There's something you're feeling especially pleased with. I really know. It just kind of does that sometimes, like when I see a friend come home safe. I mean to say my presence is the cause of such a phenomenon. Now that I think about it, this very thing used to happen to the dog on Polevia whenever she saw me. Not a pet, you know. And how would you feel if I said you reminded me of a damn monkey? Not especially thrilled, I suppose. Forgive my lack of manners, Gogol. Besides, you're far too majestic than those adorable little dogs could ever hope to be. Oh yeah? Think I could get used to majestic. Not that I blame you for thinking a puppy's cute. Same thought crosses my mind whenever I see a little human running around town. Just can't help going over to ruffle their hair, you know? Now I struggle to imagine that. Wouldn't dream of treating an adult like that, though. I suggest you start thinking the same. Tell any bestial they remind you of a pet, and they might just try to rip out your throat. Wag of his tail appears to say otherwise. Yeah, I thought it might continue in that route. Oh. I don't know if I completed all of the things everywhere. That might be another thing to do, but I don't know that I care that much. Bertrand! With Unifi. With Leia and Oakley's, really? Unifi, I understand. Hey, Bertrand, want to hear some new battle strategies I've been working on? You've been doing this whole war thing for years now, so I thought maybe you'd have some good insight. I would be glad to. An elder like me could never turn down the opportunities to instruct his younger generations. Thanks. To start, I was thinking we could take advantage of how cold it gets here in Bastorius. Maybe if we just threw some water on the enemy, they'd get frozen in place and wouldn't be able to move. Okay, dousing your enemies in water in the middle of a frozen hellscape. Not inherently a bad idea. But logistically, how are you going to accomplish that? I fear preventing the water from freezing before battle will prove far too difficult a task. Huh, you're right. There's no point just carrying around buckets of ice. If you wish to freeze our enemies, it would be much more realistic to do so using a sorcerer's ice magic. Good point. No buckets weighing us down that way, too. Now on to my second idea. These are all going to be terrible ideas, aren't they? Let's say we're trying to figure out where an enemy's base is. Oh, why don't we just slip a scrap of our clothes into their pocket and follow the scent all the way back? Another fascinating tactic, isn't it? Okay. First you gotta find someone. Then you gotta put a scrap of your clothing on them. Preferably without them knowing it, because otherwise they'll question it. But even if they don't know it, they could still lose it. And even if they didn't lose it, they don't have to go back to their base. They could go somewhere else. Isn't it? I got the idea from a book I was reading. Though that was actually about dogs tracking smells, not bestrels. It's so prove an effective method either way. Though trying to use it against our enemy with noses as keen as ours would only risk our own safety in return. I hadn't thought of that. A wolf bestrel would be on us in no time. Well, strategy stuff is impossible. Perhaps, but you mustn't discount yourself either. You have strong ideas, Unifi, albeit somewhat bizarre ones. More than anything, I think it's truly amazing just how much thought you've put into this. She hasn't put much thought. That's the problem. Not enough thought. An idea is not thought. She has had many ideas, but has not put thought into those ideas. Thanks, Bertrand. I knew I made the right choice coming to you. Mind if we do this again once I have more ideas? Of course. I'll be here anytime you need me. To talk you out of bad ideas. Goodness gracious. Leia! Calvin and his Snow Goons? Calvin and his Snow Goons. Calvin and his Snow Goons. Is that a Calvin and Hobbes reference? It is. The Attack of the Snow Goons. Gotcha. Attack of the Deranged Mutant Killer Monster Snow Goons. I don't know if I've ever actually... So... This is an interesting little thing, Lon. So, I wear this jacket all the time, right? Like this blue jacket. But I don't know... I don't know if people ever actually see it. Or see the back of it on stream. Because... You know, I'm always wearing it. My back's very rarely to the stream, but it is a Calvin and Hobbes hoodie, actually. So yeah. Thinking of sneaking a water pistol filled with urine onto the set of the Legends of the Hidden Temple to make the guards retreat? Aw. Wow. That would be rough. Getting sprayed in the face with urine. Leia training over there? Lower your blade, Leia. I'm not some wild beast, if that's what you worry about. Forgive me, Sir Bertrand. In this dark, all I could see was your massive frame and fur-clad ears. I thought you an animal come to devour our rations. A natural assumption. If anything, I'd be more concerned had the sight not put you on edge. Still, I worry what might have happened had I swung at you by mistake. Only we had a way to set you apart, even at a glance. You mean all the armor, the shield, that doesn't do it for you? Never mind that it would probably get confiscated and the actors wore masks, right? Oh, but our childhood ideas, they're fun. By the way, what is that you're holding? Flowers for my son. The anniversary of his death is fast approaching. I'm sorry. All right. I won't be there to lay them on his grave given the progress of our march. Yet I thought to at least gather his favorites and carry them with me in remembrance. It may sound like an odd suggestion, Sir Bertrand, but have you considered affixing one of those flowers to your armor? Ah, set me apart, as you mentioned before. That's actually not what I meant. In a sense, it might help you feel like your son is still here, traveling beside you all the while. No flower lives forever, of course, but it should last through his anniversary at least. Then I'll do just that. Thank you, Leia. And you, my son. As deeply as I yearn to see you again, I fear our reunion will have to wait. That's sad. That's sad. There's a lot of sad rapport conversations in this game. Then again, right, like, I actually do appreciate that. It's a game set in a very war-torn world. So if they kind of like ignored it or glossed over it, it would feel less good. Bertrand and Oakley. Excuse the question, Bertrand, but I have noticed you gazing at the sky quite often of late. Is it you're hoping to catch a glimpse of? This holy nation, the great expanse, is rife with angels such as yourself flying one way or the other. I can't help but wonder if one of them may deliver my son from the heavens he now calls home. Ah, while it's true that we angels can convey the young winged in flight, I fear that only applies to those still among the living. I am well aware, yes. In battle, you and your kin shepherd us along paths we could otherwise never hope to tread. The boon I'm truly grateful for. Whatever must be done for the sake of our victory. Though, even we have suffered losses. Our Holiness Pontifex Arant, slain at the hand of those accursed Zenoirans. Forgive me the outburst. If only I had realized sooner what fate would befall him. Perhaps I could have taken to the sky myself, swept him to safety before it was too late. But I suppose such fantasy only exists in the page of fairy tales. I see even divine messengers are powerless before such wistful thoughts. Yet that fancy is simply grief given material form. And my shield, a steadfast wall to ensure none will suffer our agony again. Mine as well. See? Fucking sad stuff. Everybody dying. Everybody got lost heaps. Alright, Bertrand. We're finishing up, boy. Elaine and Bertrand. I'd like to give you these prints, Elaine. Astorius is a cold place indeed, but perhaps a pair of mittens can make it a little warmer for you. I appreciate the thought, Bertrand. Thank you. Ah, and this is some armor commonly used by the bear bloodline, though even a human should have no trouble wearing it. It's a kind gesture, yet I'm not certain I'll even be able to move under the weight of such heavy equipment. A fair point, yes. Forgive me the imposition. I merely wish to prepare for any possibility, though I never again come to regret not doing so. And I value that input, but I promise you, all of us are doing everything we can to ensure we live to see another day. My son gave the same assurance moments before he marched to his death. Sorry for making you relive such a painful memory. Don't apologize. To be honest, the reason I've been so insistent on helping you, because of how deeply you remind me of him. But it's clear now my concern is unneeded. That's not true at all. If it brings you peace of mind, I would gladly accept any kindness you're willing to give. Thank you, Prince Elaine. It's a true honor to fight beside one as open-hearted as you. That's nice. I like Bertrand. I just wish he didn't get his ass kicked. I say that, but Bertrand is probably... Bertrand and Dinah are probably the two out of that group of 5 that I would be more enticed to use elsewhere. I just don't think I like the Gladiator class. So Merard, I just don't think I like, and I don't think I like Ramona's class. And Goval I like the concept of, but he just kind of gets slapped around. Oven! What I do actually want to do this while I'm thinking about it. Because I was thinking about it the other day. I want to remove that. I just want to see if he'll start using Killing Pursuit more frequently. Anyways. Oh my god, there's so many down here. I wish it just took you directly where you wanted to go. Wait, no, that's correct. Alba and Dinah. You following him around? Following me for something, Dinah? I like the change in music. Surprised you noticed. I want to know what you're doing out here all by yourself. Back in the day, me and my friends would come down to the shore every night, talk about what we were hoping to get out of life. Thought I'd come by and relive the memory. Must have cared a lot about these friends of yours. More than my own damn life. Always have and always will. Even if they weren't the same race as you. Because me, I still can't bring myself to trust humans. Not fully. All of us were born right here in this desert, you know. And the second we were, we had the whole world treating us like thieves and lowlifes. You became... I think every single one of you that I've seen from this region are bandits, thieves, mercenaries. Not to mention what it's like actually living here. See a lot of good people die way too young. When every day is a struggle just to keep on surviving, stuff like race never even crosses your mind. Huh. Know you got plenty of history, Dinah. Plenty of humans who did you wrong over the years. So I won't go saying you need to trust me right away or anything. I'll more than earn it. Promise you that. You already have. And you said you never think about race. I tell you really meant it. Besides, I know what the eyes of a liar look like. Those aren't it. Yes, we must make the attack animation in order to express ourselves. Guess I've got some work to do myself. We all do, Dinah. That's what makes life worth living. Question mark? Here I thought I was going to be thinking about old memories tonight. I'm making new ones. Make some new memories up. Wow, 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 wow. Rolf! Kind of interesting, the set that Dinah has. Aubin, Rolf? You there. I hear you were a hunter before the war. I'll have you know I despise your kind. Cool, thanks, bye. Like... the way you treat animals like they exist for your savage sport and nothing more. It's not how all of us feel. I myself respect the sacrifice of every life that sustains my own. Are you a vegetarian, Dinah? Then why be a hunter at all? Because my father was one. Because this was the only way I knew to right his wrongs. What do you mean? My father was exactly the cruel, ungracious sportsman of which you spoke. He hunted for fun, not out of necessity, held no regard for the countless lives he stole. I often swore I would be nothing like him. Yet every time I ate an animal he had slain, I felt complicit in his loathsome ways. So I became a hunter myself, that I might amend them instead. To give thanks to the natural world for all that it provides, rather than destroy its bounties for my own damn pleasure. Sounds like you're just as resentful as I am, then. Sorry for assuming otherwise. I've had plenty... Is this just gonna be Dinah, like, making incorrect assumptions about everyone and being proven wrong? I guess that's fine, but I'd love to know more about Dinah specifically, rather than her presumptuous nature towards others. I've had plenty of bad experiences with your type in my day. It would seem all of Fevrith is plagued by ruthless men like my father. Maybe so. That's got nothing to do with you. Don't go punishing yourself for someone else's sins. I won't. Thank you for hearing my story, Dinah. What? Ina Rylanor? What? Is it this one? Rylanor Dinah, it is. Why are you two in the desert? I've experienced such sweltering heat in all my life. It is pretty rough out here, yeah. Better start heading back to the oasis. I understand this may be a rude question, Dinah, but aren't you troubled by all that warm fur? Even if I was, what exactly am I supposed to do about it? And don't you dare say I should cut it. Be like me telling you to scratch your own skin off. I'm not a whatever Dinah is, so I can't argue that. I want to argue that, but I can't. I didn't mean to cause offense. Fine, really. I think the sun's just making me more irritable than usual. You're not wrong, either. It's tough living with a thick coat like this outside of Pistorius. Reminds me of an old friend, actually. I love to travel, and eventually ended up down here in the desert. By the time he came home, his fur was short as anything. Apparently that summer coat is what kept him nice and cool through all this heat. And there's your answer, yes? Go on, shed. Can't just do it on command. Adjusting to a new environment like that takes months, not days. You mind not standing so damn close? That armor of yours is hot enough to grill a steak on. What armor of hers? What armor of hers? Excuse me? She's one of the least, aside from Dinah, she's one of my least armored characters. Christ. What about you? Ever thought about cutting that hair of yours? Though I could possibly do such a thing. I've let it grow for many moons in order to resemble Terra Rosalinde, and it shall take far more than a little perspiration to break my conviction. Because I'm not the only stubborn one around here, huh? Maybe it's more loyalty in your case. By the way, the only thing we can do now is deal with it together. He's not wearing much more than the Naga serpent. Right? Absolutely. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Unify! Finally, one that makes sense. Say, Dinah, everyone in the Liberation is pretty nice, huh? Where's this coming from? I guess they're not bad for outsiders. I knew you were warming up to them. You say that like I'm the colder than the damn snow. Found another one. You say that like I'm colder than the damn snow. If anything, it feels like they just stay away and let me do my own thing. Not what I'd call friendly. Are you sure you're not just avoiding them? That's not it. If I had to guess, I'd bet they're all afraid of the scary Bestial and her sharp claws. You kinda do project yourself as a scary Bestial. And they're right to be. If I get too close, it's really easy for me to accidentally cut someone. You know what that sounds like to me, Dinah? You don't want to hurt anyone, so you're subconsciously staying as far away from them as you can. Clever analysis, but I don't think so. Well, let me finish. Remember that time we were holding hands when I was still just a kid? I accidentally grazed one of your claws and started bleeding all over the place. Now, you say you only look after yourself. I know you've kept them filed down ever since. Didn't think you noticed that. The friend I care about as much as you, how could I not? Even so. I won't hear another word of it, Dinah. I got news to spread. News? What news? Stab her. Stab her in the middle of the night, Dinah. Get back here this instant. Too late. That's an invasion. That's a breach of trust, Unify. That's fucked up. Here, down here, maybe? I still can't believe that this isn't a thing. It's like the coolest fucking map object that we've seen, and it's not a thing. Hey, Dinah. Yeah? Oh, nothing. Well, it's just been ages since we've gotten to bask in the sun like this. The same spot where we used to do it, too. And we'd sneak over into the checkpoint after dark and scare the life out of all the soldiers. We're lucky we never got caught, now that I think about it. Can't imagine enjoying the local jail too much. But I guess I understand why Ramona always got so mad at us when we told her about it. Miss those days, you know. Thought we were invincible. Nothing could touch us so long as we were together. Sometimes I wish we were still those same kids, innocent, happy. Dinah? Listen to me, Unify. What is it? This war with Zenoira is getting worse every day. It's not stopping anytime soon. Yep. Might be pretty soon. You never know when I might not be around to protect you anymore. If I'm not, I want you to go with Elaine. They'll keep you safe, I'm sure of it. I mean, already happening. What are you talking about, Dinah? We always promised we'd protect each other. Not just one way around. The odd way to say that. You're a good kid, you know that? Sometimes you gotta forget the past and look ahead. Dinah, Whoa! Personal space. Believe you'd even think such a thing. Hold on, Unify. No. As long as we've known each other, it's always been what you want, what you feel. Well, how about me, huh? Of course I want to make it through this war, but I don't want to do it without you. So please, never talk to me about dying again. You gotta be able to talk about dying with your friends. Eventually, someone's gonna die. Gotta be able to have them conversations. Sorry, Unify. Wish I could promise that, but the real world's not as pretty as we'd like. No guarantee that any of us will make it back alive. Don't care. The only thing that matters to me is being with you. Fine, you win. Not going anywhere, I swear it. Thank you, Dinah. You're the best friend a girl could ever ask for. Guess this is what I get for indulging you all the time. Nice. Alright. Dinah and Prim. Interesting. What are you doing out here, Dinah? You should be back inside where it's warm. Things were different when I was a kid, you know. Pistorius was a country of Bestrels and no one else. Sorry? But every so often we'd get human merchants coming in from the rest of Fevrith to sell their wares. For us kids, it was the most exciting thing you could ever imagine. I suppose all children love the same things, no matter where they're from. One day I bumped into one of them all by himself. Nice guy with a huge smile. He even gave me a necklace, as I agreed to tell my friends about his store. I did just that. Showed it off to anyone I could. This is not going to be a happy story. Showed it off to anyone I could find, always repeating exactly what he told me. If anyone else wanted one for themselves, all they had to do was stop by his ship after sundown. Ah. Not a happy story. Of course, I didn't realize this at the time, but that was the last I'd ever see of them. Yeah. Absolutely not great. Sometimes I think no matter what fights us Spestrals get into, there are some lines we just can't cross. Abducting kids, for example. The humans, they'll do whatever it takes to indulge their own greed. It's terrifying beyond belief. Sorry you had to go through that, Dinah. Some might say I'm naive for thinking this, but I still have faith in the light of humanity. Wouldn't be much of a cleric if I believed otherwise. But at times I've felt that same fear myself, come face to face with the darkness in our hearts. Sorry. Didn't mean to drag down the mood. I can tell you're one of the good ones. Same with Elaine, the rest of the gang. But yeah, might take some time, but I am trying to move on. Promise. Heavy. Dinah and Elaine. I wonder if Dinah will be a "this was only a dream." Got a favor I need to ask you, Elaine. What is it? I want you to promise me you will protect Unifi no matter what happens. And I would be glad to do so, Dinah. Where exactly is this coming from? She's one of the nicest people I've ever met, always has been. Any fight she sees, she'll go jumping in to break it up. When a friend gets hurt, she's always the first one rushing to help. And when you've got something to celebrate, she'll be right there celebrating with you till the sun goes down. All pleasant things. If anyone deserves the best that life's got to offer, it's her. Know exactly how you feel. Then there's your answer. Oh, and one more thing. You ever have to pick between saving my life or saving hers? You know what to do. But don't make me ask you again. I won't. Just know that if such a situation ever arose, I would do what it took to protect you both. Appreciate you saying that. But this promise of ours only involves her. As long as she's safe, that's all that matters. Okay. Oh, 3! We get 3 with her. Ithilien and Galdemir are up north, having a conversation. Elaine and Dinah. There we go. Oh, are we gonna prove that we can save them both? I didn't think it'd be this cold tonight. Oh! You both for keeping patrol this evening. I'm certain it was. Watch out! Bastard. Damn it. I couldn't pick up his scent in all the snow. The two of you alright? Oh, he got fucked up. Think so. Looks like Unifi just fainted for a sec. But you're bleeding pretty badly there. Don't worry about me. You need to get Unifi back to camp. And have a healer look at you as well. What? He did it! He protected you both! Everything okay? So it would seem. She'll be awake again any moment now. Unifi fainting when she gets attacked is not a good sign. I'm relieved that you weren't hurt either, Dinah. I've also spoken to Joseph about fortifying our perimeter, at least for the time being. Is she mad? That's not what I'm asking about. I want to know what you're doing, or how you're doing, Elaine. Much better now. The healers saw to that rather quickly, actually. Though I should gladly bear any wound to keep the both of you safe, just as I said I would. Well, maybe you should reconsider. I would have been just fine without you getting yourself hurt for me. All the same, Dinah. I made you a promise, and I fully intend to keep it, no matter the cost. Ugh. He dying. I knew you were still hurt. But go back to your tent and get some sleep, Elaine. That's an order. Nice. I want to see, how does this finish? Oh no, we're back on the child slavery location. It's late, Dinah. You should really head in and get some rest. Always quick to offer your opinions, aren't you? Forgive me. I didn't mean to impose. Don't worry, it's nothing worth apologizing over. Only natural a commander cares about what his soldiers are getting up to. That's all you see me as, right? A soldier? Oh, we have absolutely slipped into it was only a dream territory. Of course not, Dinah. You're far more to me than just that. Keep your voice down, will you? You're gonna wake up the whole camp if you keep shouting like that. Indeed. I shouldn't have spoken to you in such a manner. Maybe I shouldn't have been so harsh on you. I really do care too much. Who knows when that'll end up killing you, Elaine? Just like it almost did before. You speak true. Elaine's like, okay, so we've seen him get shot because of Yana, and now he's gotten cut up because of Dinah. I have this feeling that Elaine's gonna take a lot of beatings over the course of these conversations. You speak true, and yet I'm glad to have kept both of you safe, despite the somewhat severe pain I endured in doing so. Well, it's not worth dying over. There are a lot of people out there who couldn't stand to see you get hurt. Including me. Oh, she blushing. So don't forget to look after yourself, yeah? I won't. Though I can't promise the same if someone I care about is in danger. Someone like you. You should get back to camp, Elaine. I'll be there soon enough. Don't go worrying about me while I'm gone. As you wish. Good night, Dinah. What? Why can't you just hear what I'm telling you, damn it? 'Twas merely a dream. Because we can't have close female relationships without it being a relationship. Alright. Monica with Ramona? Strange. Sometimes I think it would be interesting to read a short from an NPC's perspective, someone who runs an alchemy shop, perhaps, or a cleric who lifts curses. I'd love reading something like that, absolutely. Yeah, well, I assumed you meant short story when you said short. Have you heard the rumors, Ramona? They say a local witch is selling handcrafted love potions in that town over there. Oh? I hadn't realized you take interest in such frivolous topics. It's not the effect which draws my gaze. If anything, I fear this potion conceals a tonic with more wicked purpose than we're led to believe. I suppose that's possible, yes. Perhaps we should take a moment to investigate, I would very much appreciate that. A treatise on the morality of love potions? Probably. All in all, it seems to be little more than cheap liquor distilled with a few harmless ingredients. As such, it elicits a sense of elation and peace within the world. It does not, however, produce feelings of love for another. It's merely the alcohol making people believe it does. I suppose, in a sense, love is its own intoxication of a sort, predicated upon a blind faith in someone beyond yourself. Should the potion truly yield such fierce emotions, perhaps it is not as deceitful as I first thought. You speak from experience, Monica. I've known the allure of love on 1 or 2 occasions, yes? Though I can't say it ever came from a drink in my case. And what if the potion did as it claimed? Would you have used it? Never. A vow of love spoken through unsober words would always ring hollow compared to one from the heart. Perhaps so. Genuine affection must come from a place of mutual understanding, not heightened moods and garish tinctures. Well said, Ramona. Interesting. Liquor is quicker. They do say that. What? Ah! Not items. Morard! Okay, we've got 2 for Morard. Incorrect, not Unify and Morard. Ramona and Morard. Ramona. Is there a problem, Morard? You seem rather more tense than usual. No, it's nothing. It doesn't appear to be nothing. The laces holding your armor together are frayed beyond belief. I suppose they are, yeah. To be honest, I was hoping to find someone who might be able to mend them. I would do it myself, of course, but there's not much craft in hands like these. Let me take a look. Yes. Just give me a moment and I'll have it handled. You, Ramona? I can't possibly ask that of you, given all the time you spend laboring through war councils. It's no trouble, I assure you. But how many times have I sewn clothes together for you and Unify over the years? No, there's nothing to worry about, Morard. Still, Very well. Thank you. Glad to do it. Now stay right here. I'll have your armor back to its former glory in no time. What kind of animal is Ramona? You thought she was an owl, but it's hard for me to tell. I think she's an owl. Yeah, I think she's supposed to be an owl. All done, Morard. I've restitched the laces just as you asked. I also noticed an alarming lack of decoration, so I added a touch of embroidery to the leather as well. A lion, of course, to match your ferocious image. You what? Thank you, that is. I appreciate the help, Ramona. Think nothing of it. And as always, simply let me know if you need any further assistance. Camp, Mom. A feeling this would happen. Was a wonderful seamstress, I can't deny that, but she always has to add an extra something to all her work. And although this line is a little too cute for me, I'll be proud to wear it, like everything else she's made. Yeah. It do be that way sometimes. What cutscene? There's no cutscene. Rank 3! Morard Ramona. I must admit, Morard, after your memories returned, I feared you would venture off on your own, far beyond anywhere we could reach you. But I'm relieved to see my worries were unfounded. That's actually exactly what I was planning to do. I thought an old soldier like me didn't have any right to stay here. Though when the moment finally came, I couldn't follow through. It's been years now since you brought me and Unify into your home. The 3 of us started living as a family. Even as Zenoira's cold dominion pushed further and further into our lands, the warmth of our bond never faded. I still treasure the days of Unify dragging me outside to have snowball fights with her. Or you humming proudly as you embroidered my armor with decorations more fitting a young boy than a grown man. All that time, all those memories with the two of you, some of the best I've ever had. So, no matter how much I wanted to cast that life aside, I could never bring myself to do it. Also, you got caught, so that's probably the other factor. It's a good thing, too. Unifi and I would have been furious if you had abandoned us without so much as a single word. Yet I wonder, is there not another family waiting for you out there? A human family? Not anymore, there's not. My parents passed when I was just a child. I think that explains the comfort I've felt in my life here in Vestorius. Ah. Forgive me for saying so, but I find that to be somewhat of a relief. I've thought before about the possibility of you leaving us, Mirard. And every time it ends with me in tears, struggling to bear such powerful emotion. Well, you don't have to worry. You and Unifi are the greatest family I could ever ask for. How sweet. That's sweet. That's sweet. I take it, that's sweet. That's a sweet one. Unifi! Ooh. Eyeball. Eyeball itchies. You should have seen him, Ramona. I've never heard Mirard so excited before. As much as I love your stories, Unifi, I really must begin preparing for dinner. Right. I almost forgot. There's just so much I want to tell you about. I know. Why don't help you get ready for dinner? Got another one. Why don't I help you get ready for dinner? And I can keep talking to you while we work. That's a wonderful idea. Even as a child, you sought me out every evening to speak of the adventures you had gotten into that day. Whenever you've been unable to do so, I've missed it rather dearly. Really? Really. But don't forget, we're supposed to be preparing dinner here, not just reminiscing on the past. Got it, Mom. Oops. Oh, Sorry, that just kinda slipped out. Why are you apologizing? Because we're not really my mom. Ah. I hadn't realized that was how you felt. It's true that I'm not your mother by blood, yes. But as the woman who raised you as her own daughter, those words hurt me more than you could ever know. It's not how I meant it, Ramona. I know it's not. But in all honesty, it made me so happy to hear you call me mother. Even if it just slipped out by mistake. And I believe I owe you an apology, I should have thought about how you felt instead of only focusing on myself. No, you didn't do anything wrong. Y'all ain't cooking. I really do think of you as my mom, Ramona. I'm glad to know you feel the same. Couldn't think any different if I wanted to. You're welcome to call me whatever you wish, my daughter. Thanks, Mom. Hey, nice. Wait, that was just number 1. What's number 2 gonna be? Or number 3, I guess. Holy shit. Way over here? This one? Nope. It's hard to believe how quickly time flies, Unifi. Almost 8 years have passed since the day I first found you. Hey, Ramona, have you ever regretted taking me in? I see we're not calling each other mother and daughter yet anymore. Well, you always were something of a troublemaker. If I ever took my eye off you for even a second, you would run off without so much as a word. Most of the time, you would let yourself into people's homes and make friends with their children. Though once you went missing for an entire evening, only to have spent the night sleeping beside the creatures of the forest. And despite our frantic searching, Morard and I didn't find you until you walked back into town come sunrise. I remember. Sorry for making you worry. Please. It's little more than an amusing memory nowadays. In fact, I thought your ambition to be quite an admirable trait, as well as your keen ability to befriend anyone you meet in but an instant. She shot at us when we first met. It is your kindness which made such... like, really, she shot at us when we first met. Such feats possible. Even as a young girl, you were capable of so much, things I myself often struggle with. What I mean to say is, the only emotion I feel towards my time raising you is pride. You and Morard are my family, Unifi. The most wonderful family I could ever imagine. Ramona, I'm glad you're the one who found us all those years ago. Thank you for being the best mom in the world. Nice. Ramona and Fran? What do Ramona and Fran have to chat about? What? I mean, fuck it. Let's go. Let's go, fam. Two wings, birds of a feather. What sweltering heat. I've never experienced such a sensation in all my years. Here's a good girl. Must have really needed that. What are you doing out here, Fran? Oh, just letting my griffin take a little dust bath. It's the easiest way to keep her feathers clean while we're out on the march. Though I think she got a bit too excited about seeing all the sand in one place. Hear that, girl? We're heading back to camp. Is Ramona gonna take a dust bath? Ooh. What is this primal instinct coming over me? I'd like to take a dust bath as well. To feel the sand between my unclothed feathers without so much as a care in the world. I must, and yet. Calm, Ramona. You are no simple bird, but a dignified bestial. Else will I have the opportunity. Perhaps I could indulge just this once. Ramona, His Highness would like to speak with you. Friend! It's not what it seems like, I assure you. Just look away while I put my garments back on, please. Oh, of course. Sorry, I didn't realize you'd be taking a dust bath yourself. I can't exactly blame you. My griffin loves them too. In any case, I'll let His Highness know you'll be there soon. Oh, shit. Utter embarrassment. I'll have to remind myself to never visit this bewitching desert again. Because she... That's funny. That's pretty funny. And a nice little insight into her character. We got a cool spread on Ramona. All right, Ramona, Elaine, and Ramona. Here we go. What marvelous architecture. Though in truth, nothing could be more wonderful than the unspoiled nature of these lands. Indeed, not even Cornea can boast such verdant forests. Yet I'll not deny your nation bears far more greenery than ours, at least. What is it, Ramona? Look above us, there, in the sky. Have you ever seen such magnificent birds before? Oh my god, my mind immediately just went to Elaine looking at Ramona and being like, I have. I swear to God if it goes this route. No, okay, it didn't. Fair enough. Only in Elheim, I suppose. They've quite the striking features now that I observe them more closely. Likely as a means of adapting to their environment. all life in Fevbrith has developed in such a manner. Why, speaking of birds, there exists a breed in Bastorius which can swim through the ocean with all the elegance of a noble carp. They got penguins in Bastorius. Must feel wonderful to possess the freedom to roam either sky or sea whenever the fancy strikes them. Alas, that particular variant of bird are incapable of conventional flight entirely. But what a lustrous glow these mushrooms boast. I wonder what they taste like. Best to ask the town if they're poisonous first. If only there were a library I could consult on the matter. Truly are similar, you know. I'm sorry. I speak of you and Unifi, of course. Your mannerisms are nigh identical. You mean to imply I'm as excitable as a teenage girl? Still, I can't exactly help myself. There's much of the world I've never seen, having lived in Bastorius my entire life. I understand how you feel. Whenever our march brings us to new lands, I'm struck by the insatiable urge to know every last detail of the region. Explore all of it. After all, never know what wonders may await behind a neighboring tree or a distant mountain. It appears the two of us have more in common than I realized. It's a welcome surprise, yes. Must admit, impressed you noticed these birds at all, given how far away from them we stood. Don't be. The eyes of an owl are inherently a great deal keener than those of a human. A natural disadvantage, is it? Unfortunately, yes. But feel free to let me know if you ever discover something I haven't. Wait. That seems such a strange scenario. He compliments her on having inherent having seen the birds because they were so far away. She says that he shouldn't be impressed because owl eyes are keener than those of humans, and then he asks a natural disadvantage, is it? The only way I can understand that if he's implying that he is at a natural disadvantage. But then she responds, unfortunately, yes, but feel free to let me know if you ever discover something I haven't. And it's a very odd exchange. So I shall. It's just a very odd, like, whatever thought process was going on there did not translate well. No! Elaine and Ramona. Will this be but a dream? Ah, Elaine. You're up early. Indeed I am, but I must ask, what is it you're doing out here? Is she a night owl? Preparing breakfast, of course. I thought to welcome back the evening's patrol with a hearty meal fit for even the most wary of Bestrels. You must care deeply for your brethren if you're willing to put in such effort for them. I do. Even the diverse bloodlines of Bastorius are all but branches on one large family tree. But enough about that. Perhaps you'd like to try a bowl. I hope you enjoy. It's my own personal recipe, honed and heightened throughout years of steady refinement. Looks wonderful, Ramona. What is it, exactly? A humble fish stew, comprising thick cuts of salmon in a soup made from only the freshest milk in all the region. Just about every family does it their own special way, and this particular technique is mine alone. What a delicious stew it is. Rich in flavor, yet gentle on the palate as well. I'm glad it's to your liking. Is everything all right, Ramona? Salmon chowder, sign me up after the autumn equinox. Right? That's definitely like cold food. Like cold weather food. Which, I mean, they're in cold weather, so. But it does sound nice. I'll take it. I'm a pretty decent fan of most chowders. Salmon less so, but chowders in general, absolutely. As I'm sure you know, Elaine, Bastorius has historically had limited relations with the other lands of Fethra. For better or worse, the majority of Vestrals are wholly indifferent to the outside world. We would much rather focus on our own affairs than concern ourselves in those of others. But I've begun to realize something traveling the lands as we have of late. Just as the manifold Vestral bloodlines strive to help one another, so too should the disparate nations of Fethra. I very much agree. As for this future you struggle so valiantly to achieve, do you picture Vestrals to be a part of it? I do. Although we've much still to learn of each other's customs and cultures, I'm confident that conversations such as these will engender a world where all races can live in harmony. What a pure, noble soul you are. I'm grateful to know the ideologies of tomorrow rest firmly in your hands today. And I pray for your success in making the future you believe in an eventual reality. I've no doubt we shall do so together, Ramona. Now come, eat your stew before the frigid air steals its warmth. Last year for your birthday, you got to have salmon tacos. That does sound good. Okay, so Ramona was not a love interest, apparently. Onwards to Unify. We're almost off the first page. Oh my god, there's so many. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Unify's got a lot going on. Alright, Unify and Scarlet. Just then, a horrible monster emerged from the blizzard, covered in thick fur from head to toe. The entire town trembled, ready to meet their fates, until they realized it was just a traveler wearing one too many coats. And that's the legend they tell every kid in Bastorius to teach them to welcome strangers instead of fear them. That was wonderful, Unify. Far more comforting than the horror story I was expecting. Speaking of which, I love horror stories. Do you know any? Yes, I think I do. There once was a young human maid, about your age, I'd say, who worked for an angel over in Albion. One day, while cleaning the manor, she opened a door, only to find nothing but his wings laying on the ground. I mean, without the man attached to them? Yes. Naturally, she started to wonder if all angels could remove their wings like her master had. And can they? Of course not. What she saw on the floor was actually just a wrinkled old blanket. Hey, that's like my story with the monster. Makes you think, doesn't it? Maybe all of our fears boil down to little more than simple misunderstandings. Uh-oh. Perhaps we can hear a tale of Drakenhold next? Well, that would be lovely, but, Scarlet? Who are you talking to? Oh no! Wait, no! There's not another Scarlet Unify. What? There's not another Scarlet Unify. You're telling me you kind of like just leave this horror story ghost vibe out there and you're not gonna finish it? That's so wrong. That's so wrong. That's fucked up. Absolutely fucked up. Elaine Marard. Not yet. Not yet. What are you doing over here, Unifi? Oh, you know, I was getting kinda hungry, so I'm having a quick snack before we head out. Bastorius delicacy, I see. Well, it's not really from Bastorius, actually. I don't think I'd call it a delicacy either. Just a little something Ramona taught me how to make. You want to try? I'd love a bite, as long as you're offering. Quite the aroma. The flavor's not bad either. Well, I can't say I love the way it scratches my throat as it goes down. What did you say this was made from exactly? Nothing too fancy. Just some bugs I pulled out of the snow. Last for months if you boil them and dry them out, so they're the perfect snack for when you were on the move. Did you say bugs? Get fucked. Yep, and there's plenty more if you want another handful. Uh-oh. Someone come quick! I think Virginia's in shock! She dead. Virginia died that day. That was a fun one. Some of these conversations are very short and simple. Some of them are very involved. Elaine and Prim. Elaine and Hilda. Hilda and Fran. Lex and Selvi. Hilda and Unifi. Here we go. That's some wyvern you got there, Hilda. He's gorgeous, really. Oh? You have a keener eye for beauty than most in our army. Though he was always rather admired for his looks back home, especially when it came to battle. There's no sight quite like a wyvern tearing an enemy soldier apart. Yeah, I can barely take my eyes off him once he gets going. People must really love wyverns where you're from, huh? Unfortunately, no. Most consider them fearful beasts and stay away as possible. Stay away as possible? Stay far away as possible? Few humans are willing to ride them, and even fewer wyverns are willing to trust us. So that makes you two pretty special. Yes, in a sense, it was almost a stroke of fate that we met. I was still but a child at the time, and a gifted child at that, if you don't mind me saying. The other children always resented me for it, took their frustrations out on me day after torturous day. Until one day I couldn't stomach it any longer and ran off to the hillside where wyverns were known to nest. You mean, by yourself? Indeed. I rightly assumed my tormentors lacked the courage to follow me. But upon finally reaching the hillside, I came across an all too familiar scene. My wyvern here, the most handsome of his brood, was being viciously attacked by his very siblings. It was a surprise, of course, to see the natural world behave as cruelly as our own. But that shock soon gave way to blind rage, and I found myself foolishly attempting to intervene in the struggle. Mere moments before the creature's claws pierced my skin, my friend here ushered me on his back, took to the skies. Needless to say, we've been inseparable ever since. And after we returned home, my own harassers never dared speak ill of me again. Yeah, because you had a fucking wyvern at that point. Huh. I never realized you had so much in common. Well, now you know. There's none I could ever trust more in the world. What about Prem? What about Prem? Eltalinde. Really?
Look, Unifi, the sunrise is gorgeous, don't you think? In this land of snow, the sky seems to be a single blue petal, set ablaze at its edge by dawn's first light. Oh, it sounded almost like poetry for a second there. Is it really that different back in Elheim?
It's this, but green instead of white. That's such a bad view to take of it, I'm sorry.
Indeed it is. Our dawns are more akin to golden nectar spilling down the side of a ripe persimmon.
What the fuck? Golden nectar I give you, but spilling down the side of a ripe persimmon? Oh, okay.
Wow. Hope I can see that for myself someday. You know, all this stuff about the sky is really bringing back memories. This one time a few years ago, I was walking on the beach when I spotted cloud-shaped... A cloud shaped like the fuzziest cat you've ever seen. I tried running after it to see where it was heading, and it ended up falling straight into the ocean. Luckily, Mirard was there to scoop me out, but I got a real scolding from Ramona once we got home. Guess a lecture is what I deserved for all the effort it took to warm me up again. You seem to have been quite the inquisitive child. Still, I'm glad there was no lasting harm. For what it's worth, I think it's wonderful your imagination can summon forth cats in the sky. In your eyes, perhaps it truly was there, prowling the heavens in search of a mouse to catch. It almost makes me proud of the whole disaster when you put it like that. Hey, I know. Why don't we do a bit of cloud watching ourselves, right now? Lovely idea, made all the lovelier by the colors of the rising sun. You see that one there? It resembles a poisonous herb which grows rampant in my homeland. I think that's a little more intense than what I had in mind. Jesus. Oh, goodness gracious. Alright, Morard time! Unifi Morard. Looking forward to this section. It's funny, Morard. You're doing just fine now, but I can still remember a time when you were the
Clumsiest Bestrel in all of Bestorius. That's because he wasn't born a Bestrel and he had to get used to his big-ass lion body. As can I. My hands barely felt like my own back then. Because they weren't. Even simple tasks like eating a meal or changing my clothes took far longer than they ever should have.
It was always the utensils that gave you trouble, yeah. Good thing you had Ramona around to help you figure them out. Oh, and what about the chairs? You'd always try to sit in one that was way too small for you, then fall straight out of it a few minutes later.
You weren't so normal yourself, you know. Most of your time as a child was spent climbing trees and roaring at passerbys.
I guess so, huh? It's almost like I was better at being a Bestrel than you were.
It's funny because I guess we could have seen this scene way before we ever finished the Bestorius portion. And at that point, we wouldn't have known that Unifi and Morard basically swapped, right? Like, Morard used to be a human and Unifi used to be a Bestrel, and they basically swapped. If only you had been good at coming home on time, too. You worried Ramona half to death on more than one occasion.
Must have been a real handful for her. I bet both of us were, actually. Me with my mischief and you with your clumsiness.
Gives me an idea, Unifi. You should find a moment to thank Ramona for everything she's done for us, whenever we have the time to spare. You know what would be really cool? Like, super fucking cool. Like, oh my god, super fucking cool. In this game, if you could take the Bastorius Blue, like, get it as an actual equipable item, and then if you put it on Unifi, she transforms into her bestial form, which has different unique skills than her regular skills, and maybe like a different stat line or whatever. And you give it to Merard, and Merard transfers back into his human form, same thing. That'd be like super fucking cool.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Let's take her out for dinner then, and maybe get some presents too.
Yes, I'm sure she'll enjoy that very much. That'd be so fucking cool. Boba Fett! There we go. How fucking could you, Ken? Thank you both for such wonderful gifts. And of course, the fine meal as well. It's been some time indeed since the three of us last dined like this, but I pray we can do it again sooner rather than later. Think she was happy with that? Think. I'm sure she was. Looks like all that time we spent planning paid off then. And seeing how much Ramona was enjoying it, I honestly couldn't help but smile too. Indeed. It was one of the finest days I can ever remember. By the way, Merard, do you think it's a little colder than usual today? Not particularly, no. Come down with a fever, Unifi. Let me feel your forehead. Oh, no, that's not... Your body temperature seems to be normal. Your hands are practically frozen solid. My hands? Oh, well, speaking of hands, I actually have a present for you, Merard. You do? Here, I hope you like it. What magnificent mittens. Sorry about earlier. I only asked if you were cold because I wasn't sure how to bring it up. Don't apologize, Unifi. Truth is, I got you a gift as well! Fucking stupid. Oh, God. I bought you a pair of mittens as well! You did? They're even the same style as the ones I got you, just a lot smaller. I too wasn't sure how to broach the topic earlier. My comment about your hands was the best attempt I could make. Here I thought this kind of stuff only happens in fairy tales. It's mittens! As did I. But I won't complain to know we both came up with the same idea. Thank you, Unifi. I'll think of you every time I put them on. Same here. Coincidence or not, I'm glad we get to match now. Perhaps we should both wear them when the three of us next have dinner together. Though I imagine Ramona would feel left out without mittens of her own. That's an easy problem to solve. Let's buy her some. Yes, let's. I can't wait to see the look on her face when we give them to her. That's sweet. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. I think we're almost done with the Bestrels. Yeah, Merard is left after, but we've already done his two big ones, so he'll just have some one-offs. But first, a Unifi 3 for. What? What? There we go. Oh! The smell. Aha! I knew it was you, Elaine. Sorry, were you
Tracking my scent? Mm-hmm. It's really easy to tell you apart from anyone else. You've got this noble smell, but it's kind of rough around the edges too. Totally different from pretty much any bestial. Interesting. Who would have realized that myself? What else? Are you out here picking berries? I can smell them in your bag. Can? And I can tell what you had for dinner last night if I really put my mind to it. Or if you're getting sick. I even know what you're thinking right now. What does that have anything to do with scent? Oh, it doesn't. That was just a little joke. Wait a second. What is it this time? We have to get out of here, Elaine. There's a blizzard coming our way and fast. Is this another of your jokes? I'm serious, come on.
I mean, y'all ran south. The city was right to the north of you.
It's a good thing we left when we did, Unifi. Any later and we'd have found ourselves trapped in quite a storm.
Yeah, because you ran the fucking long way.
I must say, it's truly impressive how you can perceive the weather by smell alone. It's just how it goes when you've lived in Bastorius as long as I have. If you ever need a nose for something, I'm your girl.
I don't think that just happens because you live in Bastorius for as long as you do. You former lion girl. I just think it would be so cool to see the lioness version of Unifi, you know? Like, super red lion would be fucking cool. Alright. Conversation? Dose!
This should be the place. Oh, and the ice is pretty thin around here, so make sure you follow my every step, Elaine. So I shall. Still, it's striking just how dangerous of a land Bastorius can be, especially when something as commonplace as gathering materials can carry deadly implications. I struggle to think how we could ever manage without you, Unifi. Why, were you not next to me, I wouldn't even be able to walk safely. That's a bit of an exaggeration, don't you think? The slightest. Absent your guidance, our battles through the tundra would prove far more difficult. In fact, I would hazard to say you're the only reason we've survived for as long as we have. Well, just happy to help where I can. Now, this next part is where things get really tough. Grab my hand. You'll have to follow my footsteps exactly if you don't want to fall into any holes hidden under the snow.
Really?
Whoa, your hand is freezing. Yours is so warm. So you'll just have to hold on tight then. I'll thaw you out in no time.
Game?
Thank you, Unifi. To be honest, it's so cold out here I was beginning to grow somewhat numb. You didn't think to tell me? You could have gotten frostbite, Elaine.
Whoops. This is definitely gonna be a
'Twas only a dream.
absolutely.
Yet again, we've met with success in battle, and it's entirely thanks to you, Unifi. You're very welcome. But, I don't know, it feels like maybe you're complimenting me too much. I'm not certain I see the problem with that. Guess it's just getting my hopes up is all. Makes me think you might even want to live here in Bastorius with me after the war.
Wow, that was way more upfront than a lot of other people have gotten so far.
That's not possible, Unifi. Not for the man who's gonna be king. I know. Indeed, reclaiming my kingdom is the very reason I embarked on this journey to begin with. Maybe I could come with you then. Though, I wouldn't really be able to help you as much if we're not braving the tundra together. 'Tis true that your aid has proven invaluable through the endless northern winters, Unifi. I would gladly let you lead me by the hand, no matter where we are in all of the world. I could imagine no warmth more comforting than that.
Ooh. This is one of the more direct, like, relationship ones that we've seen.
For in truth, I've grown rather fond of the way you pull me around. Elaine, Not only that, I wish to do the same for you, my home of Cornea, once we've claimed it as our own once more. Would you be open to that? Nothing would make me happier. I've always wanted to see where you're from, too. So no matter what happens, I'll be right at your side through every second of it. Just promise me you're really going to do it. Show me around Cornea.
I mean, that's sad when it's gonna hit us with the, it was only a dream.
I promise, Unifi.
And it never happened. 'Twas merely a dream. Damn game. Harsh. Alright, Unifi done. Mirard only has 3. Let's kick it. Hilda and Mirard, yeah, absolutely.
Mirard. What are you doing outside of camp?
Merely reminiscing on our last battle. I'd hazard to say we never would have won it without you and your wyvern leading the offensive.
A bold claim, but you performed rather admirably yourself. Though you don't seem especially pleased about it. Is something bothering you?
No, not about the battle at least. It's Unifi. We've lived together for years now and she's practically a sister to me at this point. But recently it's felt like she's wanted nothing to do with me. Just today I warned her to watch where she was walking, but she simply turned her back and continued on.
Sounds to me like she's going through a rebellious phase. Em had one of her own not too long ago. I didn't respond well to it though, and said some things I very much regretted later on. So my advice is this. Trust in Unifi, and give her space to grow into the woman she wants to be. It may not be easy, but I'm more than certain you're capable of it.
If that's truly what she needs, then that's what I'll do.
Besides, by all accounts, we still have some growing of our own to do before this war comes to a close.
A point well made, and thank you, Hilda.
That's nice. Be careful whom you let hold your hand,
right? The game doesn't like it if we have more than one girlfriend. It's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable, Otis. No polyamory for us, Otis. No butt scritches.
What you doing? You acting like you coming at me or something? Monica and Mirard. Oh, what the fuck? Is she all up on him? Have you ever heard of asking before you touch someone's mane, Monica? Oh, shit. She doing that white lady shit right there. Touching people's hair without asking.
My apologies, Mirard. I scarcely even realized I was doing it.
I'm not sure I see how that's possible.
Well, it's merely that your fur reminds me of a house cat we used to keep in our manor.
This war must be taking some toll on you if you're mistaking a lion like me for a simple kitten.
Indeed it is. Ever since I joined the Liberation, it's felt as though life has been nothing more than one battle after the next. In truth, I often find myself wishing my old cat were here to jump into my lap and ease my troubled heart. In any case, I should be going now.
Wait.
What is it?
I might not be the nimble little house cat you're used to, but if touching my mane can bring you some comfort, then you're welcome to do so whenever you want.
Truly grant me such an honor.
As long as you remember to ask first. Might I pet your mane for a moment, Rod? Right ahead. Just hope it helps you relax a bit. Yeah, that's nice. I heard you put through the you get put through the cheese grater if you have more than one girlfriend in Persona 5. Ew. Yep, you know, yeah. Absolutely. Of course. Of course. Of course. Alright, Morard and Elaine. See how this goes. Oh, shit. Fear not, for the King of Beasts is here to, Morard? What are you doing out here? Well, it's not what it looks like, I promise you. Every so often I act out the plot of a well-known storybook for the children back in Batstoritza. But it's been a while since I've done so, given everything that's happened with the war. Hence, you thought to practice. I suppose that makes sense. For a moment there, I truly believed you were leaping out to protect someone. I even found myself readying my blade to fend off any enemies before they could make their approach. I suppose what I'm saying is, it was a remarkably realistic performance. Glad you enjoyed it, Elaine. I have to wonder, though, is it not difficult acting all of the parts yourself? Perhaps I might help you, assuming you wouldn't mind my company. I couldn't ask you to do that, Prince. Please, I insist. I've always held a marked interest in the theater myself, and while I often observed such productions from the audience, it was all too rare that I could actually take part. Well, and now's your chance. Here's the script I've been working on. Thank you, Morard. Let us begin at once. Shit. Oh, shit. Evildoers beware. Surrender now or be put to the sword. A good start, Elaine. Now try that again with a little more energy. Hey, I'm just reading lines. I don't have to get good. You're the one doing the actual acting. Don't coach me. Oh, goodness. Oh, shit. Odorous Bombodorous. King of the Nodorous. My mouth. I got stuff in it. Odori, read some of these conversations for me. Why would you do anything at all if you don't give it your 100%? There are so many holes in that statement. I don't know where to begin. I don't know where to begin. There are so many holes in that statement, I do not know where to begin. There are a multitude of reasons to do things without giving 100%. A multitude. So you rebelled against Zenoira in hopes of rescuing the king's daughter, and in so doing, lost your memories as well as your body. As far as I can remember, yes. I expect I'm the only human in all of Bedworth to have experienced such a thing. Yet here you stand, undeterred in your ambition to help those in need, both within Bastorius's borders and beyond them. I have to imagine you've always borne this clarity of purpose, even as a human. Purpose, huh? I'm not sure that had anything to do with it. Deserting Zenoira was a spur-of-the-moment's decision, urged by passing emotion, nothing more. And once I had remembered what happened, once I knew who I really was, I kept it from the very people I'd come to think of as family. So don't talk to me about purpose, Elaine. The only constant in my life is betrayal, deception. Even should that be the case, I'm certain you made the right decision. Few others would do what you did for the daughter of a king you were meant to slay. It was a staggering feat of bravery, Berard, and I'll not let you convince yourself otherwise. There was something else I remembered just as you said that. My consciousness faded after I had turned on Zenoira. I thought my end had finally come. Yet in that moment, it wasn't a fear of death that gripped my heart. It's pride. Thank you for the reminder of that, Elaine. You're right, you know. Maybe everything really has turned out for the best. I'm sure it has, Mirard. You know, that was fine. That was a perfectly enjoyable skit. But truth be told, after experiencing the skit where I got to know, where Elaine got to know Mirard, in that, Mirard does plays for the children in Bastaritsa, I would rather have progressed that concept. Because that's the only time we got that out of Mirard, right? We didn't get that anywhere else. In any of his conversations with any of the other Bestrels or anything like that. So I would have preferred that we continued down that line, because what we just saw there didn't actually give us much of anything new. He felt pride for his actions. Obviously, we already knew that he felt bad about what he did in his past and felt that he was a liar and betrayer because he tried to walk out until Unifi caught him. So I honestly, I wish that had been a scene where we're back in Bastaritsa and Mirard is putting on a play for the kids, right? Like, that would have been cool. Okay. We're done with the Bestrels. So we're gonna start cruising up. We're done with the later Angels. Done with a couple of the later fill-ins. Done with the Bestrels. We're gonna be moving through the... Oh, goodness. Moving through the elves now. Alright, Galdemir. Who is it? Is it Ridial? No. Celeste. Celeste that has 3 conversations. Get the fuck out. Galdemir with... Galdemir is not maxed out on Elaine. Hold up. Oh! Galdemir's not maxed out on Elaine because she doesn't have further conversations with Elaine. That's why she's not maxed out with him. Interesting. Well, fuck it. Let's start with Elaine. I admit, Elaine, you performed quite admirably in my test of your intentions. Now, if only you were better suited to fighting beside Ter Eltelinde, you might just earn a passing grade. That meant to be a compliment. Not as such, no. I'll concede you have talent, but it's being entirely wasted at the moment. You and Lex have spent a great many years training for this war together, but always practicing with the same person means you only know how to react to their particular way of doing things. You must learn how to adapt with a new partner. One like me, if you're willing. Yeah, they just... In the adult version of this story, they just have a one-night stand and then move on. There's no relationship here. Are you certain that's necessary? Of course I am. There's no telling when an enemy archer may attempt to strike you down. And the stronger you grow, the more assured I can be in Ter Eltelinde's safety under your command.
So that's what you're after. In part, yes, but I meant every word. Now, what do you say? It would be my pleasure, Galdemir. I look forward to learning what an attendant of the Turanos is capable of. Just the answer I was hoping to hear. What? Did she just turn into a demon on us? What incredible strength. On your feet, Elaine. It's much too early for you to be giving up now.
It's the middle of the night!
But of course, I shall press ever onward, if I must. What's going on here, Galdemir? Elaine looks as though he's about to faint.
Save me! Okay, I'm legitimately surprised. Okay, there are a couple. That's fair. Renault, Amalia, Fidokia, Bryce, Oval, Bertrand, Galdemir, Linolagos, Ithilien, Home, Monica, no Monica, Gloucester, Hilda, Magellan. So generally, men that show up later, or women that have an extremely strong connection to someone else. I'd say that men that show up, generic men that show up later. Although we have a +3 with Merard. Interesting. A +3 with Jerome. Oh. Alright, whatever. Need to go that far. Ithilien. Let's go. In the snow. Is it only me, Galdemir? Or is there something oddly calming about these frozen lands? I'm certain it's only you. Standing still for even a moment will see us buried to our waists in snow, while battle consumes twice the energy as it does elsewhere. I see it now. That was meant to be a joke, in hopes of alleviating the unfamiliarity between us. To be frank, I hadn't thought you the jesting type. I didn't realize I was quite that unsociable. And I'll have you know it was no joke. In that case, the harsh cold must be clouding your judgment. Come, we should get you somewhere warm before the stupor grows worse. It's not it either. It's just... this place reminds me of the subterranean city I'm from. Dark, cold, yet beautiful in equal measure. I feel at home here, almost as though I could lie down for a nice rest. Yes, and it would be the last rest you'd ever took. It's clear to me now that frigid climes have dulled your wits. Here, I'll drag you back to Terre Rosalinde myself if I must. It is a strange sensation, I'll cede that. But if anything, I'd guess the only ailment afflicting me is a severe case of homesickness. That was interesting. That shed a little, like, light on Ithilien. Run away and don't look back, Elaine. She's one of those people who disguises sadism as tough love, right? Although, a part of me is like, hold up, I want to see a little more. Let's see where this goes. We'll do Ridial. We'll save the tier 3s for last. Ridial and Galdemir. The two generic female archers. Just stop. You can't hit the chickens? Moving! And now you're mocking me, aren't you? Damn birds.
I don't mean to interrupt, Ridiel, but what exactly are you doing here? You've been away from camp for some time now. Can't you tell I'm hunting chickens? Ah, yes, the little escapees you bought at the market earlier. It doesn't seem you're having any luck, though. I'm about to. Just stand back and watch me. Very well, then. Let's see how true those arrows of yours can fly.
And miss, and miss. I want them both to fail horribly, and it's just the chickens. The chickens are just supernatural gods.
I don't understand. Why can't I hit them? It certainly isn't a matter of skill, I can assure you. The issue lies in your lack of patience, Ridiel. Once you fall prisoner to the need to hit your mark, an animal will sense that desperation and easily dodge your attack. Now do it again, but this time, quiet your mind and focus on nothing but the arrow in your hand.
I didn't want this to happen. I didn't want Galdemir to teach Ridiel, which is a good moment. It's a good moment. Good moment. Perfectly good moment. It would have been so much funnier, though, if Galdemir had, like, shit-talked Ridiel, and Ridiel been like, fine, you shoot the damn chickens. And then Galdemir failed as bad as Ridiel, and then they're both shooting the chickens, and eventually they both just give up, and they're just like, fuck these chickens. Fuck!
Another miss. Not entirely, it wasn't. You masked your intent rather well and grazed your target as a result. Only grazing it was what I was trying to do. There's no point in complaining about it. Taking another shot.
That's fair enough.
Whew. I admit, Ridiel, your accuracy has improved quite significantly. That should be all your chickens, yes? All right. I was so focused on the archery, I almost forgot why I was here in the first place. Granted, one of them did get away, but I don't think they'll be causing me any more trouble. Thank you for this, Galdemir.
I keep saying Galdemir. It's Galadmir. What is Galdemir from? Galdemir is a name from something, and I don't know what. That's why I keep saying it. It's because I'm used to saying / hearing it. Galdemir. I don't know. It's definitely something that maybe I read it recently, or I don't know.
Galadmir. The next time you buy chickens, perhaps you should make sure they never escape at all.
Sure, great advice, thanks. Fuck you, Galadmir. Alright. Oh!
Eltalinde and Linolagos. We'll go with... She obviously has it hard for Eltalinde. Let's go Linolagos first. Elaine and Oakley's all the way over there. A word, Galadmir. It's come to my attention that you've injured your left arm. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I assure you, you needn't hide it from me. I can tell you're nursing the wound even now. But I wonder, why have you chosen not to present it to a healer? I can't let Ter Eltalinde find out about this. Knowing her, it would simply cause her to worry for my safety. You're stupid. You're stupid. You're stupid.
Go to the fucking healer and get it healed so it isn't a fucking problem anymore.
I can't claim I deserve such concern, especially after failing to protect her myself. So please keep this secret from me.
I hope Linolagos is like, no, go to the fucking healer.
This is far from the first time I've been wounded, and it surely won't be the last. Now let's never speak another word of it.
No! No! Don't do that! Don't give in! Be like, no, go to the fucking healer.
As you wish, and if it makes any difference, I understand your sentiment. I too merely watched as Zenoira ravaged our home and abducted our Turanos. Even my poor attempt at resistance ended in near surrender. You need never conceal your troubles from me, Galadmir. I shall gladly keep them between us, and see them remedied however possible. Thank you, Lenolagos. I'll not hide from you any longer. Wonderful. Now come. A bit of healing magic should set this right again in seconds.
Thank you. Go to the fucking healer. God damn it. God damn it.
Whoop-a-ba! Galadmir and Lenolagos. Forgive me for saying so, Galadmir, but I've heard a few of your soldiers whispering your name of late. They claim that at times your oft-stern expression has begun to grow far more tranquil. Has it now? Ever since you enlisted in the Liberation's ranks, you've held yourself almost as taut as a readied bowstring. I wondered if perhaps it was your guilt concerning Ter Eltalinde which bound you so. It was. That hasn't changed, even now. Perhaps she is willing to forgive my failings, but I refuse to do the same. You will, in time. You may not realize it now, but those moments of leisure our soldiers spoke of are the first step toward that forgiveness. You mean to imply I've lowered my guard? Another shortcoming I must learn to contend with. I'm sorry. Nothing I do will ever make amends for the dangers I inflicted upon Ter Eltalinde. Yet I've allowed myself to grow complacent, disarmed by the warmth of our new allies. And I never would have realized it without your words of warning. But Galadmir, that was not my... The time for words has passed. When next we meet, I will have steeled myself against the temptations which fetter me so. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Right. You made it worse.
There she goes, blind as ever to her own emotions. Though I don't have much right to criticize myself.
You sure about that? Because you seem a little more aware of your emotions. Ugh. Eltalinde. Elaine and Eltalinde. Galdemir and Eltalinde. There we go. Francisca von Karma, is that you? It could be.
If I may, Terras, it is a great honor to serve at your side once more. You know how worried I was, Galadmir? When the magic which clouded my mind finally lifted, you were nowhere to be seen. Not by choice. When I returned from my duty, Lord Hall had fallen. All I could do was bide my time until the proper moment presented itself. Perhaps that was for the best. Had you been beside me while I was under Zenoira's sway, I may well have struck you down. If I had, I would never be able to live with myself. I'm not one to die that easily, Terras. Especially if it were you after my life. Isn't someone feeling confident? And why wouldn't I be? I've never lost a single sparring match to you in all our years together. You say that as though it hasn't been ages since we last fought. I'm no longer the child you may remember me as, and I shall prove as such in a bout, this very moment. Then may luck be with you.
Kick her ass, Eltalinde.
That was quite the battle, Galadmir.
Oh, I was about to say, is Golemir secretly some demon that we should have been using the whole fucking time? But no, she's also breathing heavy.
Indeed it was. You've truly grown, Taurus. What is it? Nothing of much import. Simply struck me how many moons have passed since we've been able to speak like this. You mean be at each other's throats? Growing up here in Lore Hall, few regarded me as anything beyond their blessed Tauranos. Yet you never let my title interfere with our friendship. At times you would scold me and Rosalinde for making trouble in the palace, while at others you would laugh at us like the third sister we never had. I suppose I would, yes. I was so extremely grateful to have you, Galadmir. It's the same as I am now. Such words are wasted on a failed guardian. Please, Galadmir, I'll not abide any further self-doubt. What matters now is that you're here, and I couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a Golemir. Nope. Wait a second. What was the thing? Goldemir and Eltalinde.
Galdemir, precisely the woman I was searching for. How might I help you, Terras? The truth of the matter is, I've realized something over the course of our travels with the Liberation. What I once thought to be a journey to restore our home to its former beauty has, in time, blossomed into much more. No longer do I wish to return to the days of yore, but found a new Elheim where peoples of all races and creeds can live in harmony. Forgive me the query, but to my ear that sounds as though you seek to excise the roots of our very society. I do. This world continues to change with each passing day, and we must ever strive to change with it. And I couldn't imagine doing so without you at my side.
But
if you aim to disparage yourself, stop. You are a dear friend to me, Galadmir. One whose support and whose love I'll not bear to be without in the trying times which lie ahead.
oh, she done lost it. You know.
Have I said something to offend? Not at all, Terrace. It's merely that your kindness moved me to tears. Did it now? I hardly thought myself capable.
Indeed, it's difficult to believe the little girl I once knew can truly deliver such touching words.
It would seem you'll always consider me that same child.
I'll not. You've grown to be an elegant woman, Terrace. A fine Turanos at that.
Well, I suppose I'm rather relieved to hear that. And what of my proposal? Will you join me, Galadmir?
Are you certain you wish to have me? I could want no other.
I hope I never lose your loyalty, your strength, or your compassion.
Then you never shall. Come what may, I will continue to serve this nation until the light of life departs my body, both as your retainer and as your friend. And it sounds like it's something more, let's be honest there. Definitely sounds like something more. I will say, I do appreciate the Fire Emblem system a little more in the fact that it lets you pair characters with characters rather than just like your main dude can pick a waifu, right? It feels like when you do that, there are more options, there are more story ties, there's more variation, etc., etc. Oh, it's getting late. We'll try to maybe get through Rylanor. I don't know that we'll get through Eltalinde, but we'll try to get through Rylanor. Rylanor and Lex. What? That seems like an odd one.
I've been wondering, Rylanor, is there a reason you elves stay kinda light on the armor? There is.
Oh, he intrigued.
The Fae who grant us their blessings despise apparel made of iron and steel, so we dress ourselves in as little of it as possible. But doesn't that mean you get hurt more easily?
Thank you, game. I still think it's silly, but I do appreciate that you gave me some sort of reason why many of the elves... I say many of the elves, but it's really mostly just Rylanor are scantily clad.
If the enemy is able to hit us, yes, but fencers such as I prefer to evade attacks rather than guard them. And as I mentioned before, the Fae can bestow upon us the protection of the wind. Whoa! In battles between fellow elves, arrows are the greatest threats to our safety. Yet the wind's protection allows us to nullify their strength and close great distances in the blink of an eye. Hey! Even still, this manner of combat poses quite a substantial problem. One which became all too apparent when Zenoira's armor-clad forces overran our nation. Try as we could, none of our usual tactics were able to surmount their defenses. Our pride was our downfall, as was the keen adaptability of humans such as yourselves. You would do well to make use of such a valuable trait. Huh. Didn't realize there was that much to do, or that much to it. Here I could have sworn they just liked how it looked.
Also, again, thank you, thank you, game, for just nodding to the, here's a reason why they do it. But here's a, also. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Rylanor and Comb. Okay. Where are you, my lady? And how many times must I warn you not to pester Prince Elaine? Are you out here, Terrace? Your tea is growing colder by the minute. If she's been hurt or abducted by bandits. Lady Rylanor, are you searching for your liege as well? Indeed I am. I'm sorry you have to see me in such a state. Please, you needn't worry yourself over it. It would seem we're both held captive to the whims of our superiors. The last time Terra Rosalinde ran off like this, she was beset by a brigand most fierce. Naturally, her own ferocity far surpassed his, and she dispatched the man with relative ease. It was only later, when peace fell upon the region, that we learned he was in fact the leader of a local bandit ring. A welcome surprise, I'm certain. Interestingly enough, my lady once did something rather similar herself. I had only taken my eyes off her for mere moments, yet she found time enough to eradicate an entire camp of thieves. Though of course I can't say whether it was a sense of justice or simply attraction to their leader which first drew her interest. I understand the feeling. Excitable though they may be, both our masters clearly bear immense skill and wisdom.
Skill? Sure. Wisdom? What? No? At least not in Melisandre's case. Rosalinde's questionable at times. We've some luck indeed to be able to serve such fine women. Now then, I really should get back to my search.
As should I, though I suspect neither of them have any need of our help.
And yet, off you go anyways. Ay. I will say, we are accruing quite a few honors going through all these rapport conversations. Alright. Ithilien, Rosalinde, and Elaine. We'll go with Ithilien first. We got peeps to talk to? What? Yeah, I ain't saying anything new. Rylanor and Ithilien. Let's do it. I hear Zenoira really had their fangs in you, Rylanor. I'd honestly expect better from the person who put me through hell all those years in training.
I'll not disagree. Were my life not dedicated to Ter Rosalinde, I would have surely taken it myself by now.
Not even willing to fight back, are you?
If it's blood you're after, Ithilien, simply cut me down and be done with it.
No, that's not why I'm here. I want to know why you don't stand up for yourself. Everyone knows what happened to you was Zenoira's fault, not your own. Yet you weigh yourself down with all this talk of redemption and forgiveness. It infuriates me to no end.
Does it now? That's quite the change from the days you used to spend cursing my name. It seems you're kinder at heart than you tend to let on.
I just don't want to watch you keep tightening that noose around your neck. You've suffered enough already, haven't you? Or are you truly that ready to die for the sake of your duty?
I am, in fact, and I always have been. My every action, every breath, all of it is for her. So worry over me if you will, but I assure you, I'm no different now than the day we met.
Then prove it. Show Ter Rosalinde how deep your devotion runs, not in death, but in life.
I suppose I'll try.
Interesting. What? Alright, I'm gonna guess it's this one. Hey, guessed correctly. Nice. Forgive me for saying, Rylanor, I was watching the way you fought in that last battle.
Still concerned for my health,
Not anymore. It was as if your blade had a mind of its own, while you yourself moved far quicker than I'm frankly used to these days. Almost like the Rylanor of years past stood before me again, ready to scold me for the slightest step out of line.
I'm merely doing what you said.
Proving my devotion in life, not in death. Besides, what sort of instructor would I be if I had my old apprentice fearing for my safety? But I must admit, I'm impressed at just how much your awareness of the battlefield has improved. In your youth, you would fly into a blind rage the very moment you drew your sword. I learned that composure from you, to let the fire burn within, while keeping my mind both calm and clear. It's the only way to protect the things that matter most. That cat. Nope.
Time has certainly changed you, Ithilien.
How so?
As a boy, you always used to think of your allies as little more than impediments, obstacles to overcome rather than people to cherish. Yet no longer. It's precisely the reason you continue to watch after me, is it not?
It wasn't a conscious intent, I assure you, though I can't deny the fellowship I feel when I fight at your side. And I couldn't just watch as you cast your life away for nothing.
Perhaps it wasn't time that changed you at all, but meeting Elaine.
I expect you are right. The man dedicates himself to serving others, and in the process helps them grow and thrive in extraordinary ways. It's perplexing, to say the least.
Yet it's all the more reason we must claim victory in this war, both for him and for Ter Rosalinde. After everything we've been through together, I could expect nothing less.
Alright, fair enough. That's okay. Rylanor with Rosalinde. Chop! Chop, 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 chop. Chop that belly up, oh chop.
It was rather strange not having you around in recent times, Rylanor. You're usually at my side morning, noon, night, after all. With Eltalinde and Ithilien long since lost to me as well. Hazard to say it was the longest time I'd spent alone in decades. Forgive me for abandoning you in such a manner, Terras. Please don't apologize. I'm not blaming you for it by any means. I'm simply saying I was lonely without you. And I know you lured Zenoira away in order to protect me. Indeed, I did. There are no means too far in securing your safety. Though at times I wish the enemy had merely cut me down rather than make me their puppet. At least then I would never have turned my blade on you. All that time I spent praying for your safety, and this is how you repay me? If you're going to say anything, I'd much prefer to hear how glad you are to return to my service. That should be a given, Terras. There is no place else in all of Febrith I would rather be. And yet, I continue to bear the dishonor of betraying you for as long as I live. You know, Rylanor, you're far too serious for your own good.
Yep. There's so much of this, like, guilt of duty and betrayal. It's like, motherfuckers, they have mind control. Wow. Rosalinde and Rylanor.
Rylanor? Terras, I had thought you had turned in for the evening. I was planning to, yes, but you seemed a little more uneasy than usual as you took your leave. I couldn't sleep without finding out why. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised you noticed. Surely not after the decades we've known each other. Now tell me, what's wrong? It's nothing of your concern, I assure you. There's no need for you to suffer the same thorn which pierces my heart. Maybe not, but I'm better at removing thorns than you might think. Go on. If you insist. And thank you for your compassion, Terras. It pertains to the soldiers who once stood beside me in the brutal fight against Zenoira. Once my mind was freed from their foul magic, I noticed several of my men had gone missing. Later, I learned they had returned to the forest soil and become one with the divine. No, I can't say for certain who was responsible for their deaths. And every time I inquire about it, my fellow attendants seem to shy away from the subject entirely. As such, I have come to believe they perished at my own hand. If that's true, then blame for their passing lies solely with me.
Blame for their passing lies with neither of you. It lies with Zenoira. It lies with Galerius. And Baltros. And Alcina.
How could you say such a thing? You only ever acted as a decoy in order to keep me safe. Many have laid down their lives in my name, Rylanor, a list which almost included you as well. That's a burden only I can bear. And if I ever hope to repay their sacrifice, I'll have to do so by winning the peace they desperately desired. Terras. Seems that thorn found its way into both of our hearts in the end. Glad to know your pain, if nothing else. But despite all my claims to the contrary, I have a feeling we're no closer to removing it now than when we started. It appears I'm not the only one too serious for their own good. That's precisely why we make such a fitting pair, one that stood the test of time for decades by now. one that will continue to do so for decades to come.
Yeah. Y'all throw that decades thing around, like, a lot to be like, they're elves. They're gonna be around for a long time. We get it. All right. Will Rylanor be a "it was only a dream"?
What is your involvement with Ter Rosalinde? I demand an answer. Now. I'm not certain what you mean. Forgive me. I did not intend to take such a forceful tone of voice. It's simply that she seems to have grown rather smitten with me. And as her attendant, it's my duty to determine if you're truly suited to...
To what, Rylanor?
To determine what it is you think of her. If pressed for an answer, I would say she's a fine ally indeed in the fight against Zenoira.
And what else?
You want more? In that case, I suppose she does stand somewhat close to me at times. She tends to speak softer than most and everyone else, so I think it's only natural that she draws nearer to me. Unless perhaps there's a deeper reason than that? How very interesting. The tenacity of will to command an army alone, tinged with the slightest touch of vulnerability. If this is the man that Ter Rosalinde has chosen, then so be it. I approve. What the fuck is happening? Approve of what, exactly? Nothing you need worry yourself over. I thank you for your assistance, Elaine. And I hope you can find it in your heart to appease my lady's wishes. For nothing could bring me greater joy.
Okay. Hard assumption that Rylanor is going to be a no, because she'll not let herself fall in love with the man that she believes her lady to be smitten with.
Not certain I understand what just happened.
Yeah, that's fair. And the report. This one? Nope. This one? Nope. This one? Yay!
Ter Rosalinde awaits you neath the light of the moon, my prince. Go to her.
I'm sorry?
I hope this tryst is as enjoyable for you as it surely will be for her.
Slow down a moment, please. What is it you expect from me?
As I said before, I wish for you to appease Ter Rosalinde.
And have you told her I would be coming?
I've not. She has always enjoyed a pleasant surprise, you see. Now get over there this instant.
But I... Go! Did she just, like, punch his armor?
Are you hurt? Fine. Only a mere twist of the ankle. Wish I had your certainty. In any case, you shouldn't bear weight on it until we can be certain it's only a sprain. Here, allow me to carry you to the healer. Leave me be, I beg you. You mustn't miss your rendezvous with Ter Rosalinde. This isn't the time for your schemes, Rylanor. I'll only speak with her after I'm certain you're better.
That's pretty funny.
It was little more than a minor strain in the end. You were fortunate indeed that nothing was broken. I suggest you seek out Rosalinde after this as well. She seemed rather worried about you when I told her what happened. You aren't upset with me after all I've done. All of my failed schemes, as you so eloquently put it. You were only acting out of concern for your lady, Rylanor. I could never be upset at loyalty as fierce as yours. A loyalty which sees you ever committed to our army and its well-being as well.
This is an embarrassingly bad attempt at a blind date, right? Absolutely.
So please, Take this opportunity to revel in a bout of much-deserved rest. Elaine, what is it? I don't know what I've done to earn such sympathy from you. There's nothing to earn, purely a matter of course. In any event, I should be going now. The others have need of me back in camp. There you are, Rylanor. I was so worried about you I could barely sleep. Forgive me, Terrace. Don't apologize. The only thing I want is for you to take better care of yourself. That's precisely what I'll do.
See, if they if Rylanor was a romanceable partner for Elaine, instead of the last thing she said, what she should have said in response to Eltalinde or Rosalinde there is something along the lines of, "That's not what I need to ask forgiveness for," right? And that one existed. That was not a dream. Okay, so what did we do tonight? We started with Goebel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got through 8 people in about 2.5 hours. Damn. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh my god. Okay, again, the further we go, the fewer there will be. But still, damn. Like, this is a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot. Ooh-wee. Couple there. Of a couple there. Yeah. Untouched, basically, here. And have some full-ass conversations, too. Almost untouched, though by the time we get... Nope. Yeah, the only... Yeah, she's almost untouched. By the time we get to him, he'll be mostly done. Will be all but untouched. All but untouched. Damn. Ay. I will say again, right? Like obviously, the country individuals have more conversations. So like the Bestrels had more conversations with the Bestrels. The elves have more conversations with the elves. So, you know, there's that. And this is the kind of like, as we move through here, this is kind of like the Drakenhold section. So, there will be a fair of that, but this might be another couple hours to get through all of the rapport conversations. I don't know, I'm kind of invested at this point, so I think we're gonna do it, but damn. Damn to damn. Damn to damn to damn. I'm super fucking tired. I've been awake since 7 o'clock this morning. That is, I think, where we're gonna go ahead and end this. Plans. Let's talk about plans real quick. Jay and I are playing It Takes Two tomorrow. I might try to sneak in an hour or two of just going through rapports tomorrow. I want to finish this game. I'm really enjoying this game, and I'm not trying to rush through it, but I do want to finish it. But I want to finish it feeling as though I have done all of the things that I want to do, And I feel like the more nights I take to do that, the less likely I am to do that, the more likely I am to try to skip something. So I think I'm going to try to put in a little bit of extra time. Maybe a couple hours tomorrow, maybe a couple hours or a longer stream on Sunday. And then I have Memorial Day off, so depending on if we're not, hopefully we will be done Sunday night. But if we're not, I might try to spend more time Memorial Day actually during the day streaming the game and trying to finish it out, because I would really love to get into Aiden Chronicles. But again, I really enjoyed this game and I want to put all of the time that I want to put into it. But I fear, especially having missed a couple days this week due to illness and things like that, I'm starting to grow to that point to where I'm like, do I really have to? I could do it offline, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, no. Don't do that to yourself. You're gonna end up not feeling as though you've completed the game. So, look, we'll see if we can get some extra time in, and we'll go from there. Anyways, that's gonna be the end of this session. We'll be back tomorrow with some It Takes Two at the very least, and potentially some more Unicorn Overlord report conversations. So, thanks for hanging out. We will see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.